On the Ontario election campaign trail, Andrea Horwath is in the hot seat as her opponents try to chip away at her support.
Polls this long weekend put the NDP and the PCs in almost equal footing with 19 days left until the vote. As they surge in support, the NDP got a high-profile visit today from federal NDP leader Jagmeet Singh, the only federal counterpart to help campaign so far this election, as polls say the NDP is gaining ground on the progressive Conservatives.
You can actually feel it growing by the day. By the day, you can feel it growing. Something special is happening in Ontario.
The party is taking opposition fire over a survey conducted by the Clean Air Alliance. It asks whether the Pickering nuclear generating station should be shut down when its license expires in August. The NDP answered yes. Their opponents say it could mean losing 4,500 jobs.
The Pickering nuclear station is actually already been extended in terms of its life, and we want to make sure that we're making the appropriate decision with the advice of experts. But I have no problem having that facility not be extended any further because we have a problem with oversupply.
The changing focus is another indication of the realistic shot the NDP now has at an orange wave in Ontario.
The NDP are trying to ride an orange wave through the long weekend. Polls show them catching up to the PCs. Today, leader Andrea Horwath hosted the party's biggest rally of the campaign in Brampton, and she brought some big-name support from an old friend. But as Chris Glover shows us, it's Horwath's name that the NDP is hoping to boost.
Who's our leader? Andrea! Who's our leader? Andrea!
But do those outside this crowd of supporters know NDP leader Andrea Horwath? Do you know who Andrea Horwath is?
I do not.
How about her profile just generally? Where do you think that stands in comparison to the other two?
Non-existent, almost.
I'm Andrea Horwath.
This is Horwath's third election as NDP leader, and despite the biggest New Democrat ad budget in years, her name recognition issue prevails.
I think it's our duty as, Ontarians to know this information and take an active role.
So today, her former deputy, now federal NDP leader, lended a hand.
We have more people joining our campaign.
But the NDP is finding with momentum comes increased scrutiny. An accounting error in her plan means a $1.4 billion bigger deficit in year one. Plus, issues with some of her candidates. A Mississauga Centre candidate said wearing poppies glorifies war. And the New Democrat candidate in Brampton South rallied against sex ed changes.
People have different opinions, but as a New Democrat running in this election, we will be continuing with the curriculum as it stands.
And we're tracking the polls as we inch closer to Election Day. The NDP surge continues, narrowing the gap between them and the front-running PCs. You can dig into the numbers yourself. Just head to cbc.ca/poll tracker.
Ontario NDP leader Andrea Horwath hitting the campaign trail in Brampton this afternoon. Horwath greeting supporters at a rally at the Bombay Palace. She arrived at the event with dozens of her party's candidates. Horwath repeated her promises to lower hydro bills, expand childcare programs, and improve health care in the province.
We don't have to settle for another premier who leaves us more disappointed and more cynical about politics. We don't have to do that. We do not have to do that. This time, in this election, we can replace the cynicism that people are feeling with hope, with hope.
Federal NDP leader Jagmeet Singh also attending the rally and says Horwath is the right woman to take over the Premier's office.
On June 7th, it's pretty clear. The people of Ontario will elect a new Premier. They will. And people deserve a premier who says what she'll do and keeps her word. Yes, yes. And that's exactly who Andrea Horwath is.
You're watching Global Toronto. This is Global News at 5:30.
Meantime, Andrea Horwath held a rally in Brampton today with her federal counterpart, Jagmeet Singh. Horwath admits to a mistake with their accounting, but says it will not affect their promises.
We've fixed the problem that was identified. And look, what I would have to say to whether it's the Liberals or the Conservatives, we are the only party that has a platform. We don't have a platform from the Liberals. We don't have a platform from the Conservatives, but we do have a platform. And I'm confident that everything that we talk about in our platform is achievable.
Andrea Horwath confirmed on Sunday that an annual reserve fund had been counted as revenue instead of an expense in her party's platform. The NDP leader was brushing off the mistake in Brampton today, saying it's already been corrected and that her party's spending plans won't change.
We've fixed the problem that was identified. And look, what I would have to say to whether it's the Liberals or the Conservatives, we are the only party that has a platform. We don't have a platform from the Liberals. We don't have a platform from the Conservatives, but we do have a platform. And I'm confident that everything that we talk about in our platform is achievable.